This presentation was recorded at the Best Practices for Pollinators Summit. For more information, contact pollinatorfriendly.org.
Language. Um, I want to mention I'm going to be speaking a little bit to not just us humans, but we say like when we speak in front of people that all those living before us and the ones that are coming after us, and even those little Niijibimaadiziik, those little ants and bees and pollinators and plants. Niijibimaadiziik means our fellow living beings. They'll be listening to us too. So I'm going to do my introduction. So we want to make sure, everybody knows that our intent is good. So
And
sometimes,
please introduce yourself too, Hope, if you.
sure,
Thank
sure.
you.
Bujunin dinaway magani duk neji bemandazik. Nudinan si kwe indigo nikanaktin dudame tawanish kona gining and dunjaba. Danoki miyama dream of wild healthing ashe gegago ashe ingo dwaso bibunikis. What I'm saying in Ojibwe just now is hello everybody. I'm known by the spirits as Little Wind Woman. I'm a snapping turtle clan. I was born to that. So you get born to an animal who like that's your clan. I'm from Tonawanda Reservation. I work at Dream of Wild Health. We're a 30-acre farm in Hugo, Minnesota. I've been working there almost 16 years now. I work mostly with the youth, Native youth. It's a Native owned and operated farm. And we've worked closely with different programs to make sure that we have tribal seeds, tribal respect for what's going on with the land, and that we're doing things in an appropriate way. This year, we grew out 26,000 pounds of food to put back into the Native community here in the Twin Cities area. I myself have been someone who's a forager. I go out and pick and bring food back to the community, and then I do education with the young people. Yesterday, we were doing work with smoked whitefish, dehydrating strawberries, and working with nettles for hummus, tea, and making fish nets. So, looking at the world around us and the beautiful gifts that it has to offer. I do want to mention before I go any further that the worldview is much different if you look in the languages, the native languages. I can only speak to what I was taught. I'm also a storyteller, and our storytellers often focus in on the little spirits. That's how you say insect in Ojibwe mani dunsug. The little spirits are the pollinators, the insects. It could be like from what we've heard from Heather Home, of course. It could be bees, flies, wasps, spiders. It could be all kinds of different things. It could even be bats or butterflies or whatever. We're just starting to learn the one-on-one connection with native plants and native pollinators, and the importance of making sure that we continue to focus on that thousands of years old relationship between the pollinators and those native plants that give us everything that we need to survive: oxygen, food, materials to make our homes. Even when you think about oil, that was from the living beings that gave their lives many, many, many thousands of years ago. There's a video that Lori and I did a while back, and I think we're going to play that video. So I'm not sure if it's up to be presented right now, and then I'm going to speak a little bit after that.
Great, thank you. We'll bring you back. And in the meantime, here comes the video. Let me just get that up here.
Every single plant has a gift. Every single living being has a gift. Now, they have to learn what their gifts are. We might know what some of the gifts are of these beings right here. And in the Ojibwe language, you would be talking about them as he or she is growing here, like this beautiful monarda right here. So it has many, many gifts, and the tribes use them differently. And while we're here, we're seeing, well, there's a monarch, there's some different bumblebees. There was a black swallowtail here just a little bit ago. So we know that these plants are giving a gift to them. One of the things we teach the young ones at Dream of Wild Health is that when you're taking a bite of food, you can go beige, niige, and then you got to stop, because for every third bite of food, you want to thank an insect, because our food is that connected with these plants, with the insects, with how we're sustained here on this earth. In our old traditional teachings, we know we're not the first, we're not the most important, we're the last. We came here last. All these beings here, this fleabane, this monarda, that raspberry bush, that, oh, so many of these plants that are right here, they were here much longer ago than I was. So, and our human ancestors were here for such a very short period of time. We need them, they don't need us. So we're so fortunate here that they continue to come up and give us the gift of breath. All the plants, they say, have the gift of breath if they're green. You know, they're giving us the oxygen. Nesewin is how you say that. If you look at them, you can see that some of them give their gift of food, medicine, or utility. So when you say that, it makes you think about, oh, what is this gift that I might get from this monarda right here? You know, where you'd say, bibigwanesang. So you know the name of that. Gives you a little idea of what you might do with it. It would be used often for making teas for fighting colds. Now you can see it's even used in other tribes in different ways. So for Lakota folks, they might use that as a perfume, as a cleanser. So I knew one Lakota fella, who would use that in his herbal tobacco blend, when he would use that for the chanupa. So there's often many different ways that one plant might get used. Many, many. Sometimes you could go on for quite a while talking about each gift that that plant gives. This is such a generous cycle that we live in. Well, we have to remember that just because something is old and broken, it doesn't mean it lost its use. And so often now we're just starting to find out that tree that's old and broken might be now the source for the mycorrhizal material, the fungus that we need desperately to re-energize that soil. We don't even know right to this point what all those tiny microscopic living beings are in the soil that allow any of this to happen. So we can't afford to be prejudicial about things. For example, this right here, this Horiolusum, you might look at that and go, oh, that's a bad plant. It's not native, and it's an allelopathic plant. It's going to try to discourage other plants from going. Well, 2 years ago, I was out with some people from the bee lab, and we saw what we were like, oh, it's a rusty patch. We were really excited. Of course, who do you think it was on? Yeah. So sometimes you're going to see that it might be on spotted knapweed, might be on Horiolisum. The trick is that we're always being challenged to pay attention. That's the trick. It's not to just think, oh, I know what's best. I think it's like lurking to see where the successes are. So to me, as we learn more, as we start to see why is this great biodiversity still coming up, what are the gifts that it's offering, why does this plant like to be with that plant, why does it thrive when it's next to the ones it chooses to be next to, those are the times that we're going to start to come up with more answers. Thank you for showing that clip.
Yes, please continue.
Sure. I mentioned that I'm an Adizuke Kwe, which means years ago an elder passed on legends to me, and I want to tell this. It's not really a legend. This is what we consider to be the truth of it. is in the very beginning, there was nothing but vibration, and that was the sound of the shishiguan, the rattle. And as that spun off and that vibration was sent out, that those vibrations, some of them speeded up, some of them slowed down, and they became form. And in that form, we would have the form of the stars, of the planets, of the sun, just a regular star, and spun off the cooling elements like the earth and the moon. And the creator, we talk about the creator. There's, if you want to say in Ojibwe, you could say Gije Manidu, the loving spirit, Gichi Manidu, the great spirit, Manidu Naganazid, the leading spirit. When the creation was made, that was the creator's creation. We don't own any of it. Humans don't own any of it. In fact, here comes Mother Earth, and she's fine. She's she was created. She has her grandma moon that controls the waters. The water is her blood. The land is her skin. And the creator looked on Mother Earth and felt for her because, oh, she might want some hair, some covering. So that was when the creator had those plants come. Now, the plants were really dependent on Mother Earth because they couldn't grow just anywhere. They had to grow where was the right kind of soil. And of course, now we know today they had to grow when there were the right beings that lived in the soil, the right microbiome going on, or those plants couldn't live there, right? So the plants covered Mother Earth in different places because might be too cold, might be too hot, might not be enough water, might be not enough soil, all kinds of different caveats that would tell you where things could live. Then the creator saw, well, maybe you want some company. So the creator sends those mani dunsug, the little insects, and the awasia, the wild animals, to be with Mother Earth so she has company. So this was a system that had to maintain a balance for there to be health. Well, who do you think the very last ones are? Us. We're the very last ones. So in our way of speaking, and when you listen to other storytellers, they're going to tell you we're the cranky babies. We're the ones that want everything right now, and we want it our way. So in one of the stories, the trickster goes and asks, like, what are you going to give to our cranky little sibling here that wants everything and wants it now? um Part of the thing that you've got to be mindful of is we've created a system of addiction to money, so we forget that we've got everything we need. We want more, 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 even when it doesn't make any sense. So in that story, there's two little babies in a Dickenoggin in a cradle board. And we're like, we want everything and we want it now. So every single plant lines up and say, I have a gift. Every single insect says, I have a gift. Every single animal says, I have a gift for our cranky little relatives that are here. The ones that are the weakest, the ones that are most likely to fall off the face of Mother Earth because we don't know how to behave and paying attention to our elders, the plants, the trees, the insects, the animals. So, one of the stories is it highlights the manidunsug, the pollinators, the insects, with the trickster goes to say, okay, I'm going to find out what we can do to appease our cranky little relatives that they're so self-focused. That's all they can think about is, I want it and I want it now. And what happens is the creator says, take some stones and throw them up into the air, and they're going to turn into butterflies. So here comes the trickster comes and loosens up the Dickenoggin, and he takes those stones and he throws them up in the air, and they turn into beautiful butterflies. And we know that butterflies and moths are pollinators now, and we know more how important they are for sustenance, not just for us, but for so much of our ecosystems, how every single thing is tied together like a spider web, how everything is built on top of each other like a Jenga tower. So anyway, those little babies, they're amazed. They're like, oh, look at the butterflies. And for the first time, they start doing work. They walk outside their Dickenoggin, which causes their muscles to get a little stronger, and they reach for the beauty. the beauty of those beautiful butterflies. Here's the problem. Humans, in our selfish way of being, we want to own beauty. So those little babies are trying to grab that butterfly, own that beauty. And then they look at it. Uh-oh. Can anyone ever own beauty? Now look at that butterfly. Oh my gosh, there's some goo on my hand, right? So the lesson you see is there's so many teachings just in that one story. The importance of those little insects. So daily at the farm, when I take the kids out and teach them the language and I teach them things about the insects and the plants, we're talking about those relationships that before I take anything, I've got to give something. So tomorrow or the next few days, we're going to be working on what we make is the offering. Before you take a plant, before you kill an insect, before you do anything, we didn't create it. It's not ours. We can appreciate it, but we can't take it if we don't have it. So you have to put down your offering. Say thank you. Now, this is going to be a little controversial for you, but it's absolutely true. Two of my coworkers, and I'm going to quote them because people are going to say, oh, that old hope, she just made it up. Ernie Whiteman and Niijibimaadiziik both said, if you're going to kill someone, and that means someone is an insect, or an animal or a person, but I'm going to just say an insect right now. So when we take the kids out and they're going to go after squash bugs or potato beetles, you have to eat what you kill. You show that you respect that life. So just think if we did this in the society, you have to eat what you kill. You'd have to be thinking differently about Roundup, and you'd have to be thinking differently about genetically modified crops that are designed to kill insects and birds and anything that is going to destroy life and the soil, which we all know now. All that soil with that genetically modified corn and rice and soybeans and so many other crops that are breaking down and going in and killing off those biomes in the soil, we're destroying ourselves. So the old teaching was, you eat one. Now I asked Niijibimaadiziik about that up in Canada. I said, why do you eat one? She said, you're telling your body what's here on the earth with you. So suppose you eat a mosquito that carries a little thing that's not good for you because, oh my gosh, the mosquitoes could wipe us out so easy. Just a little bit of disease and we're gone. So you think about like, okay, so suppose that insect is carrying a challenge and you eat that, you're telling your body this challenge is on the earth. And this was our first form of inoculation, was letting our bodies know what's on the earth with us, when you put it in there and let the earth know. So she would always say, you're going to give the earth a sample and then pay attention about what plants come after you show your respect, because Mother Earth is listening too. Mother Earth will give us what she can to help heal us if we are showing respect and gratitude and continue to honor the gifts that she gives us. We're not the first ones, we're the last. Miigwech Bisandawiyeg, that means thank you for listening. I hope you learned a lot today, and I hope you see all kinds of interesting new teachings here with all the pollinator information that you're receiving.
Hope, we were honored to have your teachings today. Thank you so much. This was great. It was a breath of fresh air listening to you. I hope you can stay with us.
Oh, I was going to say, if you want to follow us online at Dream of Wild Health, we're always trying to do different kinds of activities just to raise awareness of what's going on out here. I know
Right
we're in a
on.
challenging time because even the insects, all of us are going to have to pay attention to the consequences of what we've done to Mother Earth, but showing gratitude, showing our spiritual balance, spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical balance, we can try to do the best we can as we're here on this earth.
Thank you so much, Hope. And we have a perfect segue because Angela is going to talk about flower bugs and how important bugs are